Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a very important video, and this is because I don't know how many people have seen, but express entry is now very competitive. It's not like back in 2020, 2019 when the scores were relatively low. Now it's a bit more competitive, and especially for international students, I want to make sure that you guys are managing your expectations and you do have a plan when choosing a province to go to or what area of study you want to go into. So today's video, I will be going through all the different provincial nomination programs that international students can apply to, and they should possibly help you to curb where you want to go and study and what you want to go to study. So stay tuned for this one. Okay, so the first one, and it's only because I have done a video explaining this one in detail, is the Ontario Immigration Nominee Program, and especially for international students. So I know I've mentioned it before, but I also put a snippet here so that you guys can see the types of jobs that have been selected of recently, because Ontario has been having a lot of PMP draws, and so I want to make sure that you guys are aware. So another province that has been making a lot of draws this year is the British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program, and the International Student Stream. To qualify for the BC PNP is that you need to have graduated from a Canadian, well, whatever they recognize as a Canadian institution. You also need a job offer, and I'll try to go through BC in a separate video. And number 3, one of my personal favorites, because they have been coming with a bang this year, they've been having a lot of draws as well, is Saskatchewan Provincial Nomination Program. They do have an international student stream, so persons that have graduated from eligible Canadian institutions and have a job offer. So Saskatchewan is a good one. Like I said, I'll pop up to show you guys once again all the draws and the different job categories that they have been selecting from. So Saskatchewan, despite it being cold, you have an end goal, which is to get your permanent residency. So number 4 on the list, which is also a great option since they have been doing selections as well, is Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program. And this pathway is the career pathway. So similar to the other ones, once you've graduated and you have a job offer, you might be eligible and you might be selected for the Provincial Nominee Program in that province. However, the other thing to look at for this province is that if you studied outside of the province, but for some reason there's no provincial nomination because you've already selected it and you're currently an international student and looking to find a provincial nomination stream that you can apply to and get that 600 extra points, Manitoba actually allow persons that study outside of the province to apply for the skilled worker provincial nominee stream. And there might be other provinces where this is the case, but this one was so big and broad on Manitoba's website, so I thought it was very important to let you guys know and highlight it. And the final one is the Atlantic Immigration Program. This one is somewhat big because it's not just one province and it's 4, but I wanted to include it in this video, but I'll do a separate video for that one as well. But the Atlantic Immigration Program covers New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and it covers Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador, not sure how many people would be interested in going. I know New Brunswick Community College is relatively cheap. Prince Edward Island, they have Holland College and University of Prince Edward Island, relatively cheap again. For Nova Scotia, there's also Nova Scotia Community College, which are also relatively cheap. The good thing about this program, if you want to apply for the Atlantic Immigration Program, and it's very important if you're choosing to become an international student, is that you don't necessarily need to work. However, you need to have completed a 2 years program and you need to have lived in the province for 16 months out of that 2 years that you have studied. Of course, you will need your study permit and a few other requirements that I'll pop on the screen, but I thought it's very important for you guys to know, because I know some people want to head to the Atlantic province, but they want to do a 1-year program. the 1-year program will not be sufficient, especially if you want to skip the whole having a job to be eligible kind of thing. So that's something definitely to keep in mind with those 4 provinces. And I'm not sure if you guys have been following for a while, but if you have not, I've done a video explaining some of the cheapest colleges in Canada, and that should help you to kind of narrow down your search to which schools that you want to go. In conclusion, just to go over the list, you have Ontario, BC, we have Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and the Atlantic Immigration Program. Those are the international student streams. If I have missed any, feel free. There is the Nova Scotia provincial nomination, but they also fall under the Atlantic, and PEI also fall under the Atlantic. So that's something to consider. So those are the options that you have outside of just straight Canadian experience class under the express entry. But I want to stress this again. A plan B or even a plan A. A plan is very important, especially for our mature students, that are persons that are over the age of 30, 35. And you know that express entry is more competitive. The older you get, the more points you lose. So I just wanted to really just stress that fact and that point. When you're selecting where to go, don't just select it based on where somebody else is going or where you see online, but make sure that you have a plan. You can reach out to immigration consultants to really work with you on a plan. I will tag my partner. She's a regulated immigration consultant that can assist you with giving you options and something to think about and a plan and be strategic. But all in all, those are the provinces that will allow international students to kind of move into the provincial nomination and get that 600 extra point. Well, all in all, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was very useful for you and it kind of, give you some perspective and set some expectations. Until next time, guys, take care.